The artist of this painting entitled Library Series, The Schomburg, is Jacob Lawrence. Jacob Lawrence was an American painter known for his portrayal of African American historical subjects and contemporary life. As a child, he had to face some tragic events a child shouldn't have to go through, like his own mother putting him and his two other siblings into foster care. At the age of 13, his siblings and him moved to New York City, where they reconnected with his mother. His mother put him in an after-school program which consisted of arts and crafts to keep him busy. This is where he realized he had an interest for art and loved it ever since. As he grew older, he witnessed the poverty and hardships African Americans had to face. This seemed to interest him, and he grew a passion for depicting the lives of African Americans in Harlem. However, through this, he was also exposed to cultural movements known as the Harlem Renaissance, which he portrays through most of his paintings. At the age of 23, he gained national recognition through the Migration series he created, which portrayed the Great Migration of African Americans from the rural South to the urban North. This specific series was actually purchased by two museums, which were the Phillips Collection in Washington, D.C., and the Museum of Modern Art located in New York City. He referred to his style in his art as dynamic cubism, although by his own account the primary influence was not so much French art, but the shapes and colors of Harlem. He brought the African American experience to life using blacks and browns juxtaposed with vivid colors. In the painting that is depicted here, we see the setting takes place in a library. Jacob Lawrence is known for creating art that was influenced by everyday life, so this must be a library he would visit frequently. If you look closely, everyone seems to be engaged in their book. They all seem to be fully focused on their literature and nothing else. The painting seems to be centered on the man in the middle, who is the only man dressed in black in the painting. Everyone else around him seems to have vivid colors. But he is dressed in black and is carrying many books, unlike the rest of the people in there who seem to only be focused on one book. He seems to be juggling all those books, and in the posture of how he is standing, he seems to depict the man looking stressed due to his body language. If we look at the background, all the books in the shelves seem to look out of place and seem messy. They seem to connect to the man in black, since all the books he is carrying are also all over the place. This can be interpreted as an African American man struggling during these times in Harlem, since his paintings all refer back to the hard times of an African American living in Harlem. The artist of this painting, entitled The Trial Ned Kelly series, is Sidney Nolan. Sidney Nolan was born in Melbourne, Australia. He grew up in a conservative colonial society in the grips of a savage depression. He had a crucial upbringing and at a point in his life was homeless and living on the beaches. But he did not let this faze him, and he became one of the most influential modern artists of his generation. Sidney Nolan's outlet from all the tragic events he went through became his passion and reason for painting, and this led him to making it his career. Nolan was inspired by many artists like Pablo Picasso, Joan Miro, and Paul Klee, to name a few. Nolan also found Paul Klee's childlike quality of his work compelling. In 1943, Sidney Nolan defined his art career to the world as an artist who will emotionally go into war with war paint and with art as his weapon. He also declared his art would be naive, poetic, emotional, and completely experimental. In 1946, he created his first painting series of works that commented on the life of the Australian bandit, Ned Kelly. This would begin his series of what he described as visual poems, where he showed the reflection of the inner being and expressed the emotion and emotional punch of his work to be everything. He wanted everyone who viewed his work to connect through an emotional perspective. Sidney Nolan's painting, The Trial, depicts Ned Kelly's trial where Kelly is depicted in handcuffs. This painting is one of a number by Nolan that uses enamel paint, usually Ripplin, a commercial paint not intended for art. Ned Kelly is close to the center of the painting and all eyes are on him. Everyone in the courtroom is depicted in their normal attire, but Ned Kelly seems to be boxed and mysterious. What stands out the most about him is his eyes. Through his eyes, we can see the fear and worry that he has. Nolan is known for depicting the emotion through the eyes, and he clearly shows that in this painting. If you look closely at the judge, he seems to be staring at Ned Kelly in a shocked yet surprised manner. It seems as both the judge and Ned Kelly are exchanging looks with one another. The painting shows as if they were having a serious conversation, but through gazing at one another only. In a way, they are both telling an intense story to one another through their eyes.